Hey guys, Arena Stories here, and this is part 1 of 3 for Rogue Mage Guide. First off guys, we have a Holy Paladin and a DK. Now, when it comes to this comp guys, what you mainly want to do is sap the Paladin as fast as possible before he sacks the DK, and try to get the Paladin in a good sap position in order for your Mage to have a clean sheep later on. Pop a premeditation into a cheap shot, instantly pop evasion guys to avoid any damage or rupture, drop a smoke bomb in order for the DK not to pull our mage and not get healed by the paladin or dispelled, go in for a shadow dance into a garrote to a disarm to avoid the DK from healing himself. Sadly the DK will use frost fortitude and his green shell in order to escape. The paladin will top him off completely here, but it is absolutely fine. Our main goal is not to kill him on the opener, it is just to make him waste every CD. If you guys notice his CDs here, the DK has lost Frost Fortitude, his green shell, and his trinket. So all we have to do for now guys is just to wait out the DRs, CC them again, and win. One other important thing I needed to mention guys is that when you are playing Rogue Mage versus this comp, you as the Rogue should be tanking the DK at all times. If the DK manages to get a hold of your Mage, the game is pretty much over. So you are going to have to tank him by popping Recuperate, Disarm, Evasion, while costing him his CDs and dealing an adequate amount of damage. The DK still has a stun DR, so we cannot stun him yet. We are just going to be spamming Hemorrhage in order to deal damage. We will go for a full blind on the Paladin. The Paladin decides to trinket the blind, and we are instantly going to go in for a disarm and a kidney shot on the DK. We are instantly going to drop a smoke bomb as well. The paladin decides to bubble. We're going to go in for 2 backstabs. He will get bopped. Our mage will just completely steal that. Now it is pretty much GG here guys, but the paladin can get a lucky proc on his heal and keep the DK alive. So near the paladin in order to kick him in case he does decide to go for a heal, and he will go down guys. Now I'll be showing you guys a second example. Now the first thing you guys want to do is sprint out as fast as possible. Now why do we want to sprint here guys? In order to get a good sap position. As I've mentioned before, it is extremely crucial and important to support your mage when it does come to CCs, and getting a good position. You as the rogue will determine the positioning based on your CCs. We managed to sap the paladin. We are instantly going to go for a premeditation into a cheap shot on the DK into a full rupture. Now one very important thing I need to mention here guys, if you get pet stunned, please do not trinket this. If you trinket this, it is an instant loss. You need to wait for Hodge. If you get reptins or pet stunned, you have to sit that. We're going to pop a kidney shot into a shadow dance into a garrote to avoid the DK from pulling our mage in. Go for an evasion to avoid any damage. Go for a ambush. Pop smoke bomb into a rupture. Now the DK is extremely low. We've costed him a lot of his CDs. We're going to come back in since he is extremely low, vanish into a shadow step into an ambush. We are going to go in for a second disarm here to avoid the DK from healing himself. He will get bopped. The mage will just steal the bop. We're going to pop recuperate, go in for a clean vanish, but from what I can notice here, the DK is not being topped off yet, so we have to come back in. We are going to go for a full garrote into a full kidney shot, and he will go down here guys. Now I'll be showing you guys one last example again. Now the reason why I'm showing you multiple examples is to get you comfortable versus this comp. You guys just have to be a bit fast when it comes to the openers and getting a good setup. Same thing guys, we are going to sprint out of here. We need to get position for our mage. We are instantly going to sap the paladin into a premeditation, into a cheap shot here, into a rupture. We are going to pop shadow dance into a garrote so he does not pull our mage, into a smoke bomb. Now this is a perfect scenario here guys. The paladin is too far away. The DK is already at 25% HP and we've popped smoke bomb on him. He was trying to save his CDs, but it was a grave mistake. The paladin will trinket, but it is too late. Now the next example is going to be Holy Paladin and Warrior. Now this is significantly easier than finding a DK Paladin guys, but you will have to do multiple resets versus this comp. But as a rogue mage, it is extremely easy. The first thing you're going to have to do as a rogue is get good positioning, as always. We are going to go ahead, go for a full sap on the paladin, instantly shadow step to the warrior, into a premeditation, into a cheap shot, into a rupture here guys, pop evasion in case he does decide to trinket and stun us, go for a shadow dance, into an ambush, into a dismantle in case he does decide to use shield and wall. We will go for a smoke bomb into a half kidney shot here. He will fear us guys. Now I would not normally recommend trinketing fear ever guys. Again, you always want to wait for Hodge, but in this situation and the current play was extremely good and he could have died here, so I did take a risk and trinket fear. Again, I do not recommend it guys. I was playing a bit risky here because I thought we could end the game. I want you guys to look at their CDs. The paladin has lost his main bubble, the warrior has lost wall, and he has lost his trinket. All we have to do now in order to win guys is wait for the CC DRs to come off, like for kidney, cheap shot, and sheep. So the mage is just going to kite around a bit. Mages are quite durable during cata because their shield is extremely powerful. Now that the stun DR has gone off, we are going to come out and help our mage. We're going to go for a cheap shot. We are instantly going to blind the paladin. We're going to go for a half kidney shot here. Keep on spamming that hemorrhage. Our mage is going to go for Ring of Frost. The warrior is extremely low now. He does get bopped. The paladin does trinket. We just have to keep on spamming that hemorrhage. Keep those bleeds up. But it is already too late here, guys. He has absolutely nothing to save himself, and he will go down. Now, I'll be showing you guys another example for Warrior Paladin. So we're going to go ahead, try to get a good sap positioning. Sadly, I cannot get a good position here, guys, because most paladins and healers will abuse the tombstone. Shadow step back to the warrior, into a premeditation, into a cheap shot. Instantly drop smoke bomb here, guys. We're going to instantly dismantle him as well in case he decides to wall. He will trinket that, guys. We are going to go for a half kidney shot here. We are going to spam ambush. Luckily for the warrior, he does manage to survive within that stun since we could not produce enough damage, sadly. So in this situation, guys, we are just going to have to wait again. We are going to go for a full blind here. Now, all we have to do, guys, is kite around a bit and not waste too much of our CDs and just survive long enough for our CCDR to come off. The paladin will decide to bubble here. The warrior does charge me. We are just waiting for the CCs, for the CCDR to come off, guys. We are going to vanish here in order to buy some time. I'm going to come back in, go for a full garrote, and I will get stunned there, guys, but it is completely fine. Now, I want you guys to notice something extremely important. The stun DR has come off the warrior completely. The paladin still does have a trinket, but he no longer has a bubble, and he has no sheep DR on him or a stun DR. The warrior is going to charge me. We pop a smoke bomb. We are instantly going to vanish you guys, go for a cheap shot. Now we have a good setup. The paladin is stunned by the mage. We are just going to spam hemorrhage and wait out cheap shot in order to give our mage time to deal some damage since we do not have shadow dance. The paladin will decide to trinket the mage's sheep and come for us. We are going to go for a half kidney shot here. We are going to spam backstab and he will go down, guys. Next example is going to be Rogue Mage. Now for Rogue Mage, guys, both targets are completely fine and viable to kill. But for me personally, I would much prefer to go for the Rogue since you can just bleed them out and kill them that way. But obviously it depends on the setup. So we are instantly going to sap the mage. Our mage does get sapped here. Now when you are in this situation, guys, you mainly want to keep up with the same pace as the other team in terms of sap. So we are going to go in for another sap to buy our mage some time. Hopefully the other rogue's sap DR goes in longer, building that sap DR. Mage can get the first spell steal on the other mage. We're going to go in for a last sap here, guys. So our mage got the first spell steal. Now when you guys see the mage with absolutely no shield, what you're going to want to do is shadow step into an ambush, eviscerate, vanish instantly, guys. Now the enemy mage is already in a horrible position. He's at 50% HP. He's going to try to cast you guys. We're going to shadow step back in for 30% more damage, go in for an ambush, kick that, vanish again. Now they are in a horrible position. The rogue does get found here. He just instantly vanishes. I'm going to come back in for an ambush. Sadly, he does blink away. He will go for ice. At this point, guys, the kill target is 100% the mage. We just need to CC the rogue. Sadly for me, guys, I do get found here. Super unlucky. We are instantly going to trinket that into a blind. I do use closer shadows to avoid being stunned by the enemy mage. Our mage does go in for a full stun on the rogue. Now that has happened, we can just go ahead, finish off the enemy mage, and it is all over, guys. Now I'll be showing you another example for Rogue Mage. In this scenario, we will be killing the rogue. Again, it all depends on the setups and what is going on. It's never the same scenario, guys. So the enemy mage does get crossed over here. I am just waiting for our mage to spell steal him so I can go in and attack. Now I will go in for a shadow step. The rogue does open on our mage. The rogue decides to open on our mage since his bubble got stolen, which is a horrible situation, and he blocked way too early, which is not the best for us. So now your job as the rogue is to take maximum risk here and deal devastating damage and make them cost their CDs because you have to support your partner. If you leave your partner at the current state he's in without playing a bit recklessly here, guys, and when I say recklessly, I do not mean do whatever you want, I mean take massive risks, because in this situation you have to even out the gameplay. Since both our enemies still have their trinkets, they have blind, they have stun, they can still kill our mage easily. Smoke bomb here in order to try to find the rogue. For those of you who do not know, smoke bomb actually does get out anyone who is in stealth. So sadly we do not get him. I will go for a vanish here. We need to apply pressure. So I am going to go for a garrote on the mage, shadow dance. He will ice block this, guys. We are going to sprint away instantly, use recuperation. We have to stop the other rogue. We're going to cheap shot him here into a hemorrhage so he does not re-stealth. Go for a rupture, backstab. We need to go for a dismantle. He does blind us. We will instantly trinket that, guys. Now that we have trinketed blind, If the mage does sheep us, it is GG guys, so we have to use the pillar and LOS the mage while killing the rogue. So we cannot afford to get sheeped here. So we are just waiting for the rogue to come out of stealth. We are trying to get a re-stealth here. We do manage to get it. The rogue gets found. We go for another garrote there. We're going to vanish here guys. Going for an ambush, eviscerate. He will go down here. The next comp is going to be Resto Shaman and Warrior. You preferably want to kill the Warrior, but I will show you guys how you can kill the Resto Shaman here. So we're going to go for a sap on the Shaman. We're going to cheap the Warrior in order to gain control to allow our mage to go for a clean sheep here. We're going to focus our attention back to the Shaman. We're going to go for a shadow dance, cheap shot, into a garrote, into a full kidney shot here, into an ambush. Now we are just going to play the pillar here guys. Use recuperation to start healing up. Vanish into another garrote, spam that hemorrhage. He will use link in order to get back his HP. We are just going to keep on spamming hemorrhage on him. We are going to blind the Warrior here. Keep on using this pillar guys in order not to get damaged by the Warrior. We're going to go for a disarm on the Warrior, break the totem, go back on the Shaman, keep on spamming that hemorrhage. We are just waiting for the Shaman to cast something, so we go in for a kick, and once he is kicked, he's completely screwed guys, especially when he is this low on HP. We're going to gain a re-stealth with a vanish here, go for a cheap shot, LOSing the Warrior, waiting for our mage to cast a frostbolt, go for a half kidney here. We will get knocked back here by the Warrior. We have to trinket this guys. The Shaman is already extremely low, and it is already over guys. Now I'll be showing guys another scenario for Warrior Shaman, but this time we will be killing the Warrior. Go for a full sap on the Shaman, open up with a premeditation into a cheap shot. We are going to drop a smoke bomb here. He decides to trinket and instantly wall here guys. Now this is a good and bad situation. It is a good situation because we costed him not only his trinket but his wall, which is basically his lifeline. It is bad for us because we have to start running around, resetting and coming back in. We are going to instantly vanish here guys. We just want to survive till the stun DR comes out and the sheep DR is removed as well from the Shaman. Go for a garrote guys, into an evasion to avoid taking damage, into a disarm here, into a full rupture. We are going to blind the Shaman. The Shaman will trinket the blind. The Warrior is extremely low here. He does get linked. We are just surviving here guys. We are going to use the pillar in order to get away. Pop recuperate, get behind the pillar to try and survive. Our mage has every CD on the book. We do not have to worry about him. He has an ice block and 2 ice barriers, pop sprinkler frost. The Warrior does go for a blade storm. We have to disarm that guys. Now we are just going to have to wait for the stun DR to come out. The Shaman has no trinket. The sheep DR is off him completely. We want to get behind this pillar, act as if we are weak and we have nothing. Draw the Warrior behind here, go for a full kidney shot, into a dance, into a double ambush, into an eviscerate, and he will go down guys. Now the next comp is going to be Pharaoh Druid and Discipline Priest. Now this comp guys, I must say, is quite difficult. It is much harder than DK Paladin and Warrior Paladin. During Rapid Lich King it was extremely easy, but the tables have turned here guys, since the Druid has a lot of survivability. Sap the Discipline Priest in order for our mage to spell steal him completely. Now when you are in this situation guys and the Druid has not come out yet, what you mainly want to do is allow your partner to steal everything from the priest and then open on him together in order to cost the priest a lot of CDs and then possibly kill the priest. But if you cannot, you can always switch to the Druid. The main thing you want is to cost the Discipline Priest his trinket and a lot of CDs. The Druid does decide to open up here guys. We have to support our mage. We are going to go in for a cheap shot, into a hemorrhage. We're going to go for a shadow dance, into a half kidney shot here guys, into a garrote, into a rupture. Now when he is sitting in bear form and he does have bar skin up guys, you cannot kill him at all. It is literally impossible. You just want to bleed him out, gain some control, keep on slowing him so he does not kill our mage. Now when we are in this type of situation guys and both of them has not lost their trinkets, it is quite bad, but we have to keep on fighting them in order to cost their CDs. We will blind the priest, he will trinket that guys. The Druid is at 50% HP here, but he still has a lot of stun DRs on him, and the mage now has a sheep DR as well. We cannot do anything. We need to wait it out guys. The Druid will get a reset. It is completely fine guys. We will just vanish here. The main objective is to wait for a window when we can CC the healer and get a lot of damage in on the Druid. So time is against the enemy team. When it comes to DRs and CCs, they cannot afford to wait. They have to rush on our mage or me as the rogue. The Druid will try to get aggressive here, but he realizes it is a mistake since he is out in the open and he is LOSing his healer. We'll back away instantly. We are just going to vanish here guys. We are in a extremely advantageous position. If you guys look at the DRs, the priest has no sheep DR, the Druid has no stun DR, the priest has no trinket. We have shadow dance coming back in 28 seconds. We are just going to wait as long as we need. Our mage is in a CC, so they cannot attack him. This is absolutely perfect. The druid will come in. We are going to go for a cheap shot into a smoke bomb here to avoid the priest from pulling him. We're going to go for a half kidney shot, spamming that backstab since he is in cat form. He will change to bear form. We're going to use rupture and keep applying shiv and hemorrhage here, guys. The priest is in a sheep DR. Sadly, we cannot kill him while he's in bear form. It is extremely difficult, and I want you guys to always be prepared in order to step kick. So we're going to go ahead, kick the priest, go for a shadow dance, cheap shot. The druid will trinket this, guys. We're going to go for a half kidney here. Our mage goes for a ring of frost. We're going to go for a double ambush, and he will go down, guys. Now, I'll be showing you guys one more example here. Again, in this type of situation, when everybody's in stealth, you want to sap the priest in a good position for your mage. Your mage is going to spell steal, but the druid decides to already open before that happens. We're going to use premeditation into a cheap shot, into a hemorrhage. We're going to pop smoke here in order to avoid the priest from pulling the druid. We're not going to use shadow dance here, guys, because we do not have the perfect setup. He will trinket this, guys. We are going to pop an evasion. We're going to blind the priest. The priest will trinket the blind. Again, our main objective here, guys, is just to wait until our DRs are completely off. The druid changes to cat form. I really just want to gouge him, guys, and keep on slowing him and wait for the stun DR to come off. We are going to use shiv here. Keep on spamming that hemorrhage. Now our mage has casted a ring of frost here, so they cannot move. We just want to get our mage to safety since he is vulnerable here. He will get cycloned. Try and go in for a vanish. Sadly, we do get feared and I do get bled. I will use Cloaks of Shadows in order to escape. Vanish into a cheap shot, into a hemorrhage. We are looking for a perfect window in order to kill our target. We are going to go in for a shadow dance. The priest is now in a sheep. We're going to keep on spamming that ambush. Now that the druid has changed into bear form, again, whenever he is in bear form, guys, please do not ever backstab. You just want to apply bleed, so hemorrhage, garrote, and rupture. Our mage is going to go for a ring of frost. We are going to chase down the druid and keep on spamming that hemorrhage, but he does have frenzied regeneration up. Now the situation is not looking the best, guys, because the sheep DR is up, our stun DRs are up, and we cannot do anything. So the only viable thing we can do here is try to reset. I will pop a recuperation, sit behind the pillar, try to recover my HP, and we also have to stop the druid from chasing our mage. If he chases the mage, applies bleeds on him, the game is completely over. So we're going to try and get a bit aggressive here. We're going to go for a gouge on the druid to avoid him chasing our mage. We are going to shiv him to slow him here and get a combo point. He's going to change forms. We're going to come back in, shadow step into a kidney shot. We will get feared here, guys. It is not looking the best for us, but again, with Rogue Mage, you come back in and even win with 10% HP. So you guys never want to give up. So the druid is going to chase our mage. We're going to go for a gouge here, allow our mage to completely heal with evocation. Pop a smoke bomb. We do get cycloned here. I do have shadow dance in a few seconds. We are going to pop recuperate in order for our energy regeneration. We're going to shadow step back in into a cheap shot. Into one ambush. He does get pulled by the discipline priest. It is not the best, guys, but they do not have their trinkets. And the sheep DR is about to come off, so what we're going to do here, guys, is just run away. The druid does manage to get a restealth. Now that he has managed to get a restealth, we're just going to go for the eye. He is extremely far away from his healer. We're going to go for a half kidney shot into a shiv, spam that hemorrhage. And also, guys, I just wanted to mention again, whenever you are fighting, please always keep up recuperate. It is literally the difference between life and death as a rogue. We'll get rooted here with nature's grasp. Our mage does sheep the priest. Sadly, it was not the best sheep since the druid was playing a bit defensive. Now we are in a scary situation. We do have a blind, guys. We're going to blind the priest. He will trinket that. The solution I have here, guys, is to try to LOS the healer and go in for a shadow dance. The druid will try to cyclone our mage to try to finish me off. I cannot allow that, so I have to trinket this, go for a gouge. Now this is the game changer, guys. I do not have that much HP. We have recuperate working with us. The druid decides to get aggressive here. Our mage will go for a sheep. I will go for a shadow step. Into a dance, into a premeditation, into an ambush, go in for a half kidney shot, keep on spamming that ambush, and he will go down, guys. I'll be showing you guys one last example for Feral Druids, and this will be one of the hardest comps you will face here, guys. So the Feral Druid does decide to open on our priest. Sadly, I did fall off the bridge. We're going to come back in. We are going to shadow step into a stun, into a hemorrhage, into a half kidney shot. We are going to dance here, guys, since the druid did not pop bar skin yet. Now the druid has popped wall, and if he does pop wall, guys, you just want to completely bleed him with garrote, hemorrhage, and rupture. He will change to bear form. Now whenever he is in bear form, guys, it is the best situation since he cannot kill you or kill your partner. He can just sit in a defensive position. We can force CDs out of our enemies. We're going to pop a smoke bomb to keep on adding pressure here. We want to keep that recuperate up. We're going to run back, blind the priest. The priest will sit the blind here since he popped a dome on the feral, and the feral is using frenzied regeneration. We are just going to keep on spamming that hemorrhage, guys, in order to build combo points. Go for a full rupture. Now we want to gain some distance here, guys, to try to pull the feral druid away from his healer. We're going to instantly vanish here. Cat form, we are going to use garrote. We have to keep applying those bleeds. We're going to go for a full kidney here, guys. We have to smoke bomb here. We're going to try and finish him off here, spamming that backstab. Sadly, he does get pain suppression before the smoke bomb. We are going to have to retry again. I will trinket the sphere, guys. I do get cycloned here, but it is still completely fine. The priest has no trinket, so all we need is 1 CC on him. We are going to vanish here, guys. Managed to get a stealth here, guys. Went for a cheap shot into a hemorrhage, into a rupture. Again, we want those bleeds up. We want to keep on spamming that backstab whenever he is on cat form, and he will go down here, guys. Now the next example is going to be Discipline Priest Rogue. Now this is much easier than finding a feral druid. Get our mage into an advantageous position, sap the Discipline Priest, allow our mage to completely spell steal him so we can open on him together. Again, both targets are viable to kill here, guys. You can kill the rogue or you can kill the Discipline Priest. It just really depends on the situation and who you find first and what happens. Our mage is going to go for a sheep DR here in order to keep on spell staining him. He's going to go for a ring of frost since he was not lucky with the steals. He does get a big crit there, guys. We have to take this opportunity. Shadow step into a premeditation, into an ambush. The rogue will open on us here. We will instantly trinket that into a blind. The reason why we do that, guys, is also to bait the rogue into trinketing so our mage can CC him later, and we cannot afford to get bled as rogue mage. We're instantly going to vanish here, guys. Now, the priest is extremely low. He's at 20% HP. He's behind the pillar. Now, since I am LOS from the rogue here, guys, I can comfortably do some damage without having to worry for the rogue coming in and instantly blinding me. So we're going to come in, open with a Shadow Dance, into a Garrote, into an Eviscerate, and he will go down there, guys.